Hey peeps, Justin here, welcoming you to otakusandgeeks.com. Welcome back, and we are continuing our coverage of the summer anime for 2019 season. And I am back with another review for To the Abandoned Sacred Beast. This is episode 2. There is no synopsis for this episode, but the episode's title is called The Dragon's Daughter. And I really enjoyed this episode. And I think what's really great about this anime is it's knowing the way the pacing is, the tone, and the story so far is really engaging. And episode 2 continues that strong episode 1 setup, but only this time it's not that much action as opposed to the first one. You get the action towards the end, and we stop our focus on Hank, who is our main protagonist, and we get introduced to a new character who was alluded to in episode 1. For those who are keeping up with this series, you guys will remember that in episode 1, the Dragon Beast, Will, he alluded to having a daughter, and they run an orphanage and they take care of these orphans. And that's who we meet in the second episode. We meet Nancy, who is the dragon's daughter, who is Will, who's one of the incarnates. And one thing I really liked about this episode is that it was such a tone shift. Like, the first half of this episode was just really delightful. You get to meet you see a background of one of the incarnates, and you can just see that he was just this normal man. You know, he lives in this small town. They don't make enough money, or they don't have enough money, but they get by either hunting or creating mushroom soup. They do enough. Like, they don't have enough, but they're happy. They're happy with each other's company. And that was just a really nice message. I thought that was pretty cool. Like, you don't need everything. As long as you got your family, you got your friends, you'll be fine. And that was a great message that the episode actually put out there. But the second half, all that happiness just goes out the window, because then you find out that John, aka Will, the Dragon Beast, is called to war, and if you saw episode 1, you see what happens to all the incarnates. But that was just a really great setup, and it's actually giving motivation to Nancy of why she's going to be out on her own. And one thing I liked about this was this running theme of, they kept saying to Nancy, because there's this one scene where Will is taking Nancy out to hunt for a deer, and just in case, so if he actually does leave or something happens, she knows how to take care of herself and the kids. So in this scene, Nancy's not able to pull the trigger. And that's the whole theme of this episode, is that when the time comes, you're going to be able to pull the trigger. And then the time actually came later on. I'm not going to spoil what happens, but Nancy's able to pull the trigger and really start fighting for herself. So the way her character is built up, and the way they are using what happens to Will as a great motivator, it's really cool. I like her character. She's not this whiny. She started off as someone who's just really kind-hearted, but the events of what happens during this war just hardens her. She still has that nice, sweet demeanor, and she's still compassionate, but there's a hardness to her because of what happened to her father. And I really thought it was really good. The action, once again, is spectacular. Hank does appear in this episode. I won't tell you what his role is, but Hank is becoming a true badass, and I'm really liking Hank's motivations for this. I wish there was a little bit more of how should I say, a little bit more indication on Hank a little bit, to see what is really going on in his mind at this point. But they do allude to he's just basically finishing the oath that the incarnates made, and it's really cool because you have to get to see a little bit more of the incarnates. And it's kind of sad because when you're watching it, you realize that these incarnates, at the end of the day, yes, they're beasts with these powers, but at the end of the day, they're just humans. They have families and everything else. So it's a really kind of a tragic story what's going on here. But overall, ladies and gents, episode 2 was phenomenal. I definitely am officially hooked on To the Abandoned Sacred Beast. Definitely have to watch this. I love what this episode did. A great way to introduce a new character. Nice way to flesh out one of the incarnates. And they actually fleshed out another incarnate as well, which is pretty cool. So I like how they're not leaving plot holes open. They're going back and they're just tying things up. And I'm really curious to see what episode 3 is going to be doing. So pretty cool, very excellent episode. I would definitely recommend it. I'm giving it a solid A. This is Justin from otakusandgeeks.com saying later days. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.